Hey, this is H1. We're going to be running it back with another episode talking about chess knowledge, chess wisdom, chess understanding again. And today I wanted to give you some advice on how to remember chess openings. And I know all you beginners out there right now have been surfing the web trying to figure out who's been telling you the truth and who's been lying to you. And I'm here to tell you right now, you are at the right video presently, because all these other videos want you to learn this opening and that opening. And you need to understand exactly everything that deals with this phase of chess. So let's get started. The first thing that you need to learn when it comes to chess is understanding chess principles. What are chess principles? Well, you need to understand that you should be developing pieces, controlling the center, getting the king to safety, castling is really important, connecting the rooks, etc. Those things is going to leapfrog you into understanding what you should be doing in the initial moves of a chess game. The opening phase is really important because it sets you up for the middle game. And all these videos gives you specific moves. No, you need to understand those specific moves, and that is the foundation of understanding. The second thing that you need to understand as a tip is using simple openings. If you're not using simple openings and you're actually using the Sicilian defense poison pawn variation, you're not going to get far in chess, because every single move matters. What do I mean by that? When you're playing the London system, you can do a few inaccurate moves. It's not going to lose you the game, especially against other beginner players. But if you're going against tougher opponents and you're playing the poison pawn variation where each move matters, it's a very sharp opening where if you do one tiny small mistake, a tactical theme can happen at any moment. No, that's not the pressure that you need to be under, okay? That's why you need to do simpler openings and understand the game of chess first and stop losing in the first 10 moves of the match. Third, you need to play these exact same openings in every single game. And I know it might seem boring. I get it. You want to enjoy chess. If you want to enjoy chess, that's good. That's fine. Just play whatever opening that you feel like playing. But if you're trying to get better, you need to acknowledge that these openings are like different islands that you have to learn. For example, if you're a d4 player, keep on playing d4. That's fine. That's your opening. We're good here. But a d4 player becoming a e4 player is not a good thing, because e4 is very dynamic, tactical type of lines that you have to learn. But d4 players is solid, strategic lines that you have to learn. Those are two different types of playing styles of chess, and you need to either pick one side or the other. For the black pieces, you need to know exactly what you're doing every single time, no matter which pawn or knight white pushes up first. For example, if white does e4, if you do e5, this is what you're playing against the white pieces every single time. If your opponent plays d4 and you usually play knight to f6, you need to do knight to f6 every single time your opponent plays d4 to learn that specific opening. That's how chess works, and this is how we learn from our mistakes in these openings. Then we could be like, okay, well, it kind of went a detour after this move, and then you can acknowledge it's going to be a lot easier to figure out your mistakes in the opening if you do this. Fourth, you need to actually understand the ideas behind every single move in that line, and the best way to do this is by playing more games or by looking at grandmaster games in these openings that you want to play, so that you get the idea, okay, I've seen this position before. Magnus Carlsen played this opening and he played this one again against Anad. All right, I kind of got a glimpse of what I should be doing here. You don't have to know exactly every single time what you're doing. You just got the idea down pat where you know where you should be heading in that position. And that's what it's gonna feel like. Lastly, watching tutorial videos on YouTube or any other platform is going to help you out a lot, especially in the opening that you are playing. So if you play the London system, it makes no sense to learn how to play the King's Gambit. Those openings aren't even close together at all. But it actually does make a lot of sense if you wanted to play like the Bishop F4 line of the Queen's Gambit and you're learning the London system. Okay, that's close near each other. Or if you want to play the Tory attack one day, yeah, that's close near each other. It has the same ideas and things behind it. That's good. Good job on that, picking those type of openings. You got to stay within the D4 realm if you are a D4 player. That's going to help you out greatly. And then plus another tool too that you can use is Chessable, chessable.com. Learn an opening, buy a course really quickly. It's probably going to take you a few weeks or a month, but it's a faster way than how we used to back in the day. You get a book and then you go over all the lines on a chessboard or whatnot. No, you can get an app on your phone and learn openings really quickly. Learning an opening is not easy, especially in chess. So it's gonna take a lot of work and effort, and that's why you have to hit those books and get that experience in playing a lot of games in chess and then learning from those mistakes, because it's gonna be a beautiful feeling once you realize, oh, I'm not losing in the opening anymore. In almost every game, I'm losing throughout like the middle game or the end game, but then you can move on to other principles you should know instead of focusing all your time on the opening. Okay. So I got a game I want to go over, and it's a very short game of a player understanding the opening they are playing, and they beat their opponent in under 15 moves, which is crazy. So let's get into this game right quick. We got this move E4, E5, knight to C3 that initiates the Vienna game in chess. Now, after knight to C3, knight to F6 and F4 initiates the Vienna gambit. And so when you're playing this opening, you have to understand what you're doing when you gambit off a pawn. And before you understand what a gambit is in an opening, you have to understand initiative in chess. You gotta build the blocks. You can't just skip steps when it comes to chess here. After this move F4, E takes on F4, and you already know that black kind of doesn't know exactly what they're doing, because most people don't capture this pawn unless you unless you're new to chess. Most people don't capture the pawn. They do moves like D5 or D6 to have a solid structure. You might see some grandmaster moves when they capture the pawn, but they're just trying to figure out exactly if white knows what they're doing in that opening, and they have something planned like a novelty in the position. Now, after E takes on F4, E5, black is in trouble if they do not do this move knight to G8, which is a weird move to try to find right off the bat. You're not gonna find it in a blitz game, which they didn't, because they did this move queen to E7. After queen to E7, black is already losing, especially after queen to E2, protecting the pawn. This pawn is attacking the knight now. The knight has to move somewhere, and they moved the knight to G8, which they should have did before, because, you know, then the bishop could have got out first before doing queen to E7. Now, after knight to G8, knight to F3, protecting the pawn, getting our pieces developed, because the chess principles, getting your pieces developed, castling your king, getting your rooks connected, controlling the center. This does all those things. Yes, we're gonna have to move our queen to get our bishop out, but let's just see how this game goes. After knight to F3, D6, which is one of the worst moves possible because of this move knight to D5, but this is a 1000 rated game. And just because you don't find the best move every single time doesn't mean that you do not understand the opening. And clearly, once this player understands exactly what they are playing, they are going to be powerful in this specific opening, in the Vienna gambit. Now, after D6, white did play this move D4, which isn't bad. They do keep the advantage, but knight to D5 was the best. After D5, bishop to G4, pinning that knight to the queen, and then we have this next move, bishop takes on F4. Bishop takes on F4, G5, and it seems like, okay, G5, what is that exactly doing? Bishop takes on G5, queen takes on G5. Black is trying to trade off pieces in a position, and white isn't going to allow them to do so. After G5, knight to D5, intermezzo move. We don't care about the bishop right now because we want to attack the queen and threaten some more stuff. Now the queen is going to have to move, or you're going to have to capture a piece, which they did. Bishop takes on F3, queen takes on F3 in this position, and then we have this next move, queen to D8. After queen to D8, bishop takes on G5, and so in this tactic, if queen captures bishop on G5, knight captures on C7, which would be a fork on both of these pieces, the king and the rook on A8. So that's why black did this very unusual move, knight to E7. I know, most of you should have seen exactly that there is checkmate at 1, which white did miss. They did miss one move. They did miss the checkmate at 1. They did bishop to d3. D takes on e5, and now they've seen the checkmate at 1, which is knight to f6, checkmate. Now white kept on developing pieces. I'm pretty sure they would have castled either side if there wasn't checkmate at 1. But black didn't seem like that they understood exactly what they was facing. And this is why defense is a lot harder than if you were going first with the white pieces, because they could put more pressure on you. They get to decide what opening they want to play, because you should be playing your favorite opening when it comes to the white pieces. They didn't do the best defending, and you can tell, look at their pieces, look at their king still in the center. They're not controlling the center, and white is having all the fun in this opening. Now, yay, hopefully you learned something, and make sure that you like the video and subscribe if you did so. And comment down below what more content that you want me to go over.